Exposition of the Holy Quran. By G. A. Parwez. Glossary. Terms starting with letters I-K. 39. Iblis.
Bar Lam Seen.
40. Imam. 41.
Imran.
42. Injil, the Gospel.
The Bible.
43. Ins. Alif Nun Seen. 44. Ishmael, Ismail. 45. Islam, Sin Lam Mim. 46. Israeli Anbiya. 47. Israeli. S. 48. Jacob, Yaqub. 49. Jahannam.
50.
Jahim, Jim Ha Mim. 51. Jahalin, Jim Ha Lam. 52. Jamaat al-Mominin.
53.
Jannah, Janet, Jim Nun Nun. 54. Jesus. 55. Jews. 56.
Jinn.
Jim Nun Nun. 57. John the Baptist, Yahya. 58. Judy. 59. Kaaba, Kaf an Ba.
60.
Kabis, Kaaba Sa. 61.
Kalk.
Ka Lam Qaf. 62. Kufa, Kaafir, Kaafrin.
Kaf Fa Ra.
Glossary. 39. Iblis. Bar Lam Seen. Ablaza means to get dejected. Ibn Faris. It also means to get dazed and disillusioned on account of frustration or bafflement. Taj. Mohit. In ancient Semitic dictionaries, its meanings are given as crushed to death, or that which is run over. Gharib al-Quran by Mirza Abul Fazl. Some scholars think that the word Iblis is taken from Ablaza and means totally disappointed from Allah's rahmat. But other compilers of dictionaries think that this is not an Arabic word but has been taken into Arabic. Taj. Mohit. The Holy Quran has presented Iblis as an embodiment of rebellion, disobedience, insubordination and revolt. He refused to obey Allah, took up a rebellious path and became among those who disobey. 2. 24. As opposed to Malaika whose nature is only to obey and follow and bow before Allah's command. 38. 73.
In this universe, man is the only creature who is given choice and discretion.
He may or may not obey the laws of Allah. The choice is his. This discretion is not given to any other creature. Man decides to disobey Allah's laws when he is overpowered by his feelings and emotions.
These emotions instigate him for personal gain against universal good. He bypasses the laws of Allah and starts following his own emotions. At this stage his intellect tells him the ways and means to achieve these objects. These emotions and the intellect which guides them to achieve these objectives are given the name of Iblis by the Holy Quran. Because of his rebellious nature, it was said that he was born out of fire. 7. 12. And since feelings of human beings remain hidden, Iblis or Shaitan was also called a jinn. 18. 50. Jinn means one who is hidden. At the time of his birth, along with emotions, a man is also given the power of discretion by virtue of which he is capable of disobedience, and they accompany him throughout his lifespan. 15. 36. A person who decides to follow the path of disobedience becomes deprived of the resultant benefits which would accrue by virtue of following the laws of Allah. That is why Iblis is termed as the disappointed, dejected or devoid one. About those who follow Allah's laws, Quran says that they will not suffer any fear or sorrow. 2. 38. And Iblis will not have any control over them. 15. 42. The Quran has termed Iblis and Shaitan as the two faces of the same coin. While narrating the story of Adam, the refusal to bow, the rebellion, disobedience, and finally the challenge to mislead mankind, all these are attributed to Iblis. When it mentions the story of Adam's fall, it is attributed to Shaitan. 2. 36, 7. 11 to 20, 20.
116 to 120. This shows that Iblis is the name used for a specific personality trait, and the way this trait operates is called shaitan. For details see shaitan. The details of this story are given in the book titled Iblis O Adam by Allama G.A. Parwez. Iblis and shaitan, or disappointment and rebellion, are, in fact, those obstacles which hinder the progress of human self. If the self of a person overcomes these obstacles, it shows positive growth in his evolutionary process, but if he fails, then his self gets stuck or falls down to the lower level of animal life. Human life is, in fact, the story of this crisis. That is why, with the creation of Adam, the existence of Iblis is necessary. Unless there is opposition, there cannot be a clash, and without clash, there cannot be stability in one's self. In other words, there is no other test to check the growth and stability of one's self, except at the time of clash with evil. Researchers in the field of modern psychology also propound the above point of view. Namely that frustration and other stresses often lead to anger and aggression. Psychologists use the term frustration as a label for 1. An emotional state that appears whenever an obstacle interferes with the satisfaction of a desire, need, goal, expectation or action. And 2. The obstacle itself. A person who is frustrated may be one who is simply blocked in all his attempts to solve a problem, or he may be the one who has responded to his failure by anger, worry, and anxiety. Here we differentiate between two means of coping with frustration. If an individual directs his frustration against his own self, he resorts to anger, aggression, helplessness, anxiety, regression, fixation, escape, or withdrawal. Similarly, if the same feeling of frustration is due to an external stimulus or another person, then defense mechanisms come to the foreground, which are projection, repression, fantasy, denial of reality, rationalization, intellectualization, and reaction formation. All these defense mechanisms have their underlying roots in disappointment, closely followed by a feeling of rebellion or aggression. Clearly, there is a direct and deep-rooted connection between the feeling of rebellion and disappointment experienced by a person, which is also exemplified in the relationship of Iblis and Shaitan. The Holy Quran also supports the above version, that frustration leads to aggressiveness. When a person feels that he cannot achieve what he desires, he gets angry. If he gives vent to this anger against his own self, this results in worry, tension, or depression, the last stage of which is suicide. When he uses this anger against anyone else who, in his opinion, is responsible for his circumstances, it is called revenge. In case he is incapable of taking revenge from the person concerned, then at times he gives vent to his feelings against things which may be totally unconcerned, which is madness. One can see the direct and deep contact between disappointment and rebellion, and this is the relationship of Iblis and Shaitan. In fact, these are the psychological feelings of a human being. The Holy Quran wants to establish such a social order, where chances of disappointments do not occur. 39:53. As his resources of nourishment are boundless for everything and abundant throughout the universe. 7:156. So in the Quranic social order, the feelings of Iblisiyat cannot overcome anyone, particularly over those who follow his laws. 15:43. 40. Imam. Imam is the plumb line string with a lead ball tied at its end,
which is used by masons to check the true verticality of a wall.
Therefore, Imam is that person who not only leads a group, but people can also use him as a model to correct themselves. A straight wide road is also known as Imam, as it is sure to lead you to the destination. Allah had thus made Abraham Imam of human race. 2:124. And this is the status which Mo'minin are asked by Allah to strive for in verse 2. 125.
Mo'minin wish to be Imam of Muttaqin, in verse
25.
74.
Means that a Mo'min should lead and be model for
anyone who wants to avoid the pitfalls of life in accordance
with Allah's guidance. The Holy Quran. 41. Imran. Imran was the name of Moses' father.
3.
32. It seems that Mary's mother was from a tribe known as Imran.
3.
32. As well as the wife of a person named Imran. See Al Imran. 42. Injil. The Gospel. The Bible. It is the name of the book revealed to Jesus. The original book as revealed to Jesus is nowhere available. Later on, after Jesus Christ, some people started collecting and compiling sayings of Jesus Christ at their own. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, there were some 34 different Gospels. Mostly they contained the biographies of Jesus.
The mother tongue of Jesus and his followers was Aramaic, but it is surprising to note that none of these 34 books were in that language.
Except one which is now missing, all the books were in Greek. The Great Council of 325 A.D. collected all the literature and selected only 4 out of them, i.e., Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, and the rest were declared concocted. These selected versions are attributed towards Saint Paul and his followers, and the collection is called the New Testament, but again none of these 4 books are available in their original form. At present there are only 3 ancient books available, of which one is in Vatican, the other in British Museum, and the third one was sold to England by Russia. The first 2 are reported to have been written in the 5th century and the third in the 4th century. Jerome translated these books from Greek into Latin in the 4th century. This translation was later on published during the reign of King James in 1611 A.D., and is considered to be the most authentic. In 1870 A.D., 27 scholars got together in Canterbury and held a conference. They came to the conclusion that the translation published in 1611 A.D. was defective, and therefore, they brought out a revised edition. This, however, does not mean that the translation which is available today is the same as published in 1870. Each new edition published by the Bible Societies is different from the previous one. Dr. Mail of Germany collected some of the revised versions of New Testaments and pointed out some 30,000 discrepancies. John James, who went deeper into his analysis, pointed out 1 million differences. See Encyclopedia Britannica, topic Gospel, and Encyclopedia of Religions and Ethics, topic Bible. This is the Bible which, as the Christians today believe, was revealed to Jesus. St. Paul, in his letter to the Romans, justified some lies in the books by explaining that if by telling some lies the greatness and glory of God Almighty was established, he should not be accused and held guilty. Letter to the Romans 3:7. Dr. C. E. M. Joad, in his book Good and Evil, writes at page 319 that the character of Jesus Christ which emerges from these books is most regrettable. It was the Holy Quran which narrated the correct story and depicted an excellent character of both the personalities, Mary and her son Jesus. 43. Ins. Alif Nun Sin. Sun. To get fond of, to develop some attachment, love or affection. Al-Anso. A tribe which gets settled at one place. Taj. Lane. As opposed to Jinn, a tribe that continues wandering from place to place and remained mostly out of sight. Ibn Faris says that the basic meaning of ins is to get visible, and its antonym, jinn, is that which remains invisible or hidden. Unasan is used in the meaning of a tribe in verse 260. In Quran the words insan and bashar are used in one and the same meaning, and nas is taken as plural of ins. Taj, which means mankind. In general it means humans living a collective urban life, as opposed to gypsy life. 44. Ishmael, Ismail. Ishmael was elder of the two sons of Abraham, as mentioned in the Holy Quran. Abraham dreamt of sacrificing his eldest son Ishmael, and taking it as Allah's commandment, took him out for sacrifice. 37. 102. Allah, however, saved Ishmael from this temporary sacrifice and kept him alive for a greater purpose. 37. 107. Which was the construction and maintenance of Kaaba. Ishmael got settled in Mecca, chosen as Allah's Rasul, and from his descendants Rasul Allah, peace be upon him, the last Rasul of Allah, was born. 45. Islam, Sin Lam Mim. This is an important root, from which the words Islam and Muslim are derived. It is therefore necessary that its meanings are understood in detail and in depth. All the basic meanings are taken from Mohit, Taj and Lane. These are 8 in number. Salima means he got purified from all the defects. Shortcomings. All the shortcomings are complemented. Verse 271 refers to the cow that is perfect and without any defect, so its basic meanings are to get well and perfect, complete in all respects, so that no defect remains. To remain safe from all dangers, accidents, mishaps. Ibn Faris says that its basic meanings are more inclined towards perfection in health, safety and security. As Salam is also one of the names of Allah used in the Quran. 59:23, which means free from all defects and shortcomings and who faces no danger from anything. The author of Taj al-Uruz, however, disagrees with this and says that Salaman means someone from whom safety and security is sought. Salam is one of the names of Allah, as he has kept the entire creation safe from all catastrophes and his system and laws are in operation with perfection. As Salamu means a ladder used to reach some high place and is safe and dependable. So the third meanings are the ways and means by which someone can reach the heights with confidence. As Silmu, 208, means one who lives with peace and order and also maintains peace and order. Tasalamat il Kilo means horses who march in step. No horse creates any trouble or mischief, all are in one step. This explains the Islamic system. As Silmu war as Salamu means to be obedient to, bow, to surrender. So the fifth basic meanings are to bow to and obey the laws of Allah in totality. Nawab Sadiq Hassan Khan writes that the basic meanings contain the element of humility and softness.
Istaslama Sakamat Tariq means one who walked
in the middle of the path and did not deviate from it. Kalusalama means who leads or takes up the middle path, does not look either side and avoids obscene things or lewdness. So the sixth meanings of this root are to adopt a balanced way and avoid obscenities, filthiness, indecency, and immodesty. Istalamazed Zaru means the crop has ripened. So the seventh meanings of this root are a system under which efforts bear fruit. As Salamatu is a woman whose hands, feet and limbs are soft, beautiful and in perfect shape. So the eighth meanings of this root are beauty and elegance. To sum up, Al-Islam means a system or code of life which removes all the shortcomings of a person and enables him to develop all his potentialities, safeguards him from all the dangers, catastrophes and degradations of life, and marches him on towards higher evolutionary stages of life. Enables not only himself to lead a peaceful life but also helps maintain peace and order around him and in the whole world.
Trains him to live in harmony among other fellow
beings and not to commit any act by which someone else gets enraged or upset. This is possible only when a person bows in totality before the eternal laws given by Allah in letter as well as in spirit, and leads a balanced life without going to either extreme. In this way his efforts will bear fruit and none of his deeds will go waste. The end result would be that it would bring out beauty, balance and excellence not only in his own personality but in the entire social system. This is the only way of life which ensures reaching the destiny.
47.
And anyone who follows a different path would not only be able to bring about the expected results, but he would ultimately suffer a loss. This word has been used extensively in the Quran in various forms.
In Surah Rum
30:53,
Iman and Islam have been
explained separately. Iman means to accept in reality any object and Islam means to act upon it in totality. The Quran says that in contrast to this there are certain people who have accepted Islam because of submission to the system but Iman has not penetrated deep into their souls. 49:14. A person having all the above qualities possesses a noble heart, Qalb-e Salim. A nation consisting of such people is called Ummatan Muslimatan.
128.
Which follows laws of Allah and wherein the aim and object of each individual is to desire peace and prosperity for the other. When one meets the other, he greets him by saying Assalamu alaikum. 7:46. And in return the other reciprocates the same sentiments, and thus the entire society echoes with such feelings. So Islam is that code of life which has been revealed by Allah for the mankind.
There is no other code acceptable to him.
In Surah Al-Imran 3, verse 82, Quran says, do those people desire some different deen than the one ordained by Allah? At another place, whereas whatever is there in the universe follows the way which leads to the goal set for them by Allah. 13:15. At yet another place, if someone adopts a way other than this, it will not be acceptable and in the end he will be the loser. 3:84.
This is the code which was revealed to various Anbiya from time to time and its final and complete form to Rasul Allah.
Peace be upon him. And this code has been selected for the entire mankind. This code of life has been named Al-Islam and the followers of this code are called Muslimin. A Muslim is he who accepts the Holy Quran as the one and only complete and final code revealed by Allah for the mankind. 46. Israeli Anbiya. This word has been used to indicate various Anbiya which were sent to Bani Israel starting from Isaac to Jesus. 47. Israeli.
S.
The word Israeli, plural Israelis, means people of Israel. See Bani Israel for details.
48.
Jacob. Yaqub. Jacob was the son of Isaac and grandson of Abraham. His title was Israel, man of Allah. That is why his generation is
called Bani Israel, the sons of Israel.
49. Jahannam. Usually translated as hell, which again does not properly convey the Quranic sense of the term. Jahannam is a Hebrew compound made up of G and Hinnom, meaning the valley of Hinnom. This was a famous valley situated in the south of Jerusalem where human beings were burnt alive and offered as sacrifices to the idol of Moloch. Jahannam, therefore, denotes a situation in which humanity is ruined.
In Arabic, the word Jahim is often used in this sense.
It means to prevent. It denotes a condition in which human evolution is prevented and life begins to stagnate instead of progressing. According to the Holy Quran, life has manifested itself in the human form after having gone through various stages of the process of evolution. This is the final link in the evolution of life in this world. But life is not limited to this world. It continues beyond death. The higher form of life that an individual with a developed personality is capable of leading after his life in this material world is called a heavenly life, or the life of Jannah. On the other hand, the evolution of a not-so-developed personality is bound to be thwarted. This kind of life is called an infernal life or the life of Jahannam. Jannah and Jahannam do not stand for places or localities. Rather, they denote different conditions of human life which have been described metaphorically. It should also be clear that these conditions do not relate entirely to the life hereafter. They have their beginnings here in this world of matter. A social order based upon Quranic foundations results in a happy situation. The necessities of life are available in abundance and are secured in extremely decent ways befitting the human dignity. This brings in a real happiness and peace of mind. This is called a heavenly life. Jannah. On the other hand, a society based upon principles repugnant to the laws of Allah brings in anxiety and discontentment, and this is an infernal life. Jahannam. 50. Jahim. Jim ha mim. Aj hama anu means he got stopped. Al-jar amo means a miser who stops all the wealth from circulating. Taj. Jahama means the fire bursts into flames. The Holy Quran has used al-Jahim in the meaning of Jahannam. 44, 47, 37. 556468. The Holy Quran has also described the result of misdeeds as the torturing fire. As the fire burns everything, so the bad deeds burn the human personality and stop its growth.
If, according to the Quran, one ponders over the object of life, he would visualize that life is a continuous process and has to go a long, long way.
If the life is led according to the laws given by its creator, then its latent potentialities are developed in such a way that enables it to continue progressing and going from one stage to another.
But if the potentialities are not developed, it does not have the strength to travel or grow further and stops at one stage or point.
This process or place of stoppage is called al-Jahim in the Quranic concept. Life is like an ever-flowing stream which should continue flowing. The moment it stops, it turns into a pond and gets stagnant. 51. Jahalin. Jim ha lam. Al-Jal means those aspects which are not clear and to undertake travel in those areas without acquiring knowledge about them. According to Raghib, Jahal has three forms. One who is empty-headed on account of lack of knowledge.
One who holds a belief regarding something contrary to the reality.
One who acts in a manner contrary to what actually should be done, irrespective of his belief whether it is right or wrong. Taj.
According to Ibn Faris, its basic meanings are:
it is opposite to or antonym of knowledge. Ilm. It indicates cheapness, dissatisfaction. Majul is that piece of land which has no signposts on it.
Al-Jahulo is that simpleton, inexperienced person who can be deceived easily.
Mohit. According to Taj al-Uruz, the word jahal is normally used to condemn or humiliate a person, but sometimes it is used for a person who is ignorant or has no knowledge about certain things. When used in this context, it doesn't mean condemnation, viz. 273. Persons who have no actual knowledge and consider them wealthy, or whom the ignorant people consider to be affluent. Safatan Jihalan is that barren rock which is static since centuries and under no circumstances can move from its place. This is the worst type of jahalat, and that is why the author of Taj refers to it as jalun murakaban, compound or absolute ignorance. According to late Ahmad Amin Misri, the meaning of salaman is peace, which is the antonym of war or friction, and in verse 25:63, the term jahalat is used in contrast to salam. The inference that can be drawn here is that the pre-Islamic period, which is referred to as the era of jahalat, is probably not on account of ignorance. Antonym of ilm. knowledge, but is derived from the root jalon. It means proudness, self-admiration, snobbery, haughtiness, boastfulness, class consciousness and race prejudice. According to one hadith, Abu Zar Ghafari tried to belittle a person by giving reference of his mother, to which Rasul Allah,
peace be upon him,
said, "In you is still the tinge of the period of Jahiliyyah." In Islamic history, and in the Holy Quran, the pre-Islamic period is also referred to as the era of Jahiliyyah. 33. This, however, does not mean that people were totally ignorant, unknowing, nescient and living in darkness, but they were unenlightened, unaware or ignorant about the teachings of Islam. 52. Jamaat al-Momineen. Jamaat means group of people, a party with a common manifesto. Also see Iman. 53. Jannat.
Jim Noon.
Usually translated as heaven or paradise, it does not properly convey the Quranic sense of the term. A garden of dates and grapes was called Jannah. If a garden had other fruit trees, but not those of dates and grapes, then it was called Hadika. Taj. Raghib says that every garden whose ground could not be seen because of undergrowth of bushes was called Jannah. The word Jannah has been used in the Quran extensively to convey a definite concept. Is the social order which results by following the Quranic way of life. Jannah is established both in this world and the hereafter. While narrating the story of Adam, Holy Quran says that Adam was living in Al-Jannah, where he could eat as much as he liked and from anywhere, but was warned not to go near Shahara. 35. In other words, Jannah denotes a social order where each and everything that is needed to make an individual's life full of satisfaction is available in abundance and can be had without undue labor. These things, however, are to be used according to the restrictions laid down by Allah. Hudud Ullah. If that limit is respected, then there would be no end, no limit to these bounties and the sources would never exhaust. As far as life after death is concerned, the Holy Quran says, no one knows or can perceive what is kept hidden for his joy as a reward for what he had done in this world. 32. However, some of the things in Al-Jannah are explained in symbolic form. 35. As human beings are not capable of perceiving or comprehending these things otherwise. In order to obtain Al-Jannah in life after death, one must develop his personality in this world. Only then he is capable of reaching the stage of Al-Jannah. Al-Jannah is not the end of the growth of human personality, as stated in verse 57. 12. Those who fail to develop their personalities to the required degree would fall in Jahannam. It may also be understood that Al-Jannah or Jahannam are not the places or stations, but denote the state of mind which we cannot comprehend with our present senses of perception. Please also see Jahannam. 54. Jesus. In the Quran the word Isa is used 25 times and Masih Isa ibn Maryam 11 times. Some scholars think the name is from Hebrew or Samaritan language. In case it is an Arabic word, it appears to have been derived from the word Isu. Raghib thinks that this is an Arabic word taken from Ali's, which means a camel, whose white color is mixed with black, and according to Taj, a white color slightly mixed in gray. The detailed account of Jesus, which according to the Muslim faith is the correct story of his life, occurs in various verses of the Quran. One whole surah, Surah Maryam, is named after his mother. According to the Holy Quran, Jesus was one of the Anbiya and lived a normal life. The Christian concept that he was crucified is categorically denied by the Quran, which says that he was neither killed nor crucified, but it only appeared to them so as a fancied image. But most certainly they did not slay him. 157. Details can be seen in Chula-e Mastor, an Urdu book by Allama G. A. Parwez. 55. Jews. C. Bani Israel. 56. Jinn. Jim Noon Noon. Jannah means hidden. According to Raghib, it means not only hidden from the eyes but also from senses. In verse 6, 77, the Quran says when the night spread darkness over him, he saw a star.
Jananan means grave, as it hides the dead body.
Iblis is also a jinn as this force remains hidden from the eyes. 18. 50. Janeen is an embryo, fetus.
In mother's womb. Junatan.
Is the shield or any weapon with which a person protects himself. 58. 16. Jinnatan means madness. 23. 25. The Arabs thought that Majnun was a person who was afflicted by jinn. According to Raghib, al-jinno is used in two ways. For those hidden forces that are good in nature, including angels, and those which are evil, called shayateen. Taj.
Raghib.
The Quran also mentions the Arabs doing worship of jinn, where it means angels. 37. 158. Taj.
Raghib. The earth in the beginning was in the form of molten
matter, and took billions of years to cool down to a tolerable temperature, suitable for the habitation of mankind.
Prior to this, there existed a creation, which originated from steaming fire. 15.
27. It is now extinct and is therefore referred to as al-Jan. The Quran has referred to and addressed jinn and ins together in many verses. Ins, as explained under heading Ins, means tribes which used to settle down at one place, and jinn means those Bedouins, nomadic tribes or gypsies who kept on wandering and remained in deserts or forests, away from cities. In Arabia such people were in great numbers. Since the message of the Quran was for both of them, it has pointedly addressed both of them.
For instance,
in verse 6, 131, O ye assembly of jinn and ins, don't you know that a Rasul came to you from amongst you? There is no evidence in the Quran to show that at any time a jinn was also a Rasul. On the contrary, it is further clarified in verse 7:35, that the Rusul were from Bani Adam and were sent towards them. In Surah Jinn and Ahqaf, it is mentioned that a group of jinn came to the Rasul to listen to the Quran. 72, 146, 29. This also shows that the group who came to Rasul Allah, peace be upon him, were actually human beings, but from uncivilized tribes. Surah Bani Israel mentions in a verse that even if all the jinn and ins get together, they cannot produce a book like the Quran.
17:88.
Verse 6,
113.
States that some rebellious ones from amongst the jinn and ins used to oppose the Anbiya. Verse 7, 179. Further explains that majority of jinn and ins are those who do not use their intellect and do not contemplate and therefore belong to the category of those who would be in Jahannam. Verse 41:29 states that those in Jahannam would say that they were misled by some of the jinn and ins.
In verse 6,
129. It is stated that the ins would say that they used to derive benefit from jinn, and the jinn would say that they also derive benefit from ins. Verse 27:17 says that Solomon had an army consisting of jinn and ins. In 34:13, it is stated that he employed jinn for the construction of synagogues, statues, basin-like wells and boilers built into the ground. Some of them were used as divers to extract pearls from ocean depths. 21:82, and others were kept in chains. 38:37-38. The above narration clearly explains that jinn means nomadic tribes which keep on wandering, and ins were those who were social and remained settled. 57. John the Baptist. Yahya, one of the Anbiya of Bani Israel. 6. 85. In the Holy Quran he has been mentioned as Yahya. He was the son of Nabi Zachariah.
He is one person whose name and qualities including that of Nubuwwat was announced by Allah even
before his birth, in response to Zacharias' prayers. 3. 37.
38, 19.
7. 21. 90. 58. Judy. Name of a rock where Noah's Ark stopped. 11. 44. 59.
Kaaba.
Kaf an Ba. Kaaba al-Kaabato is a square and raised building, a square. Bone, a marked dice used for gambling. Al-Kaabo is everything of glory, eminence and honor. Also means graceful, dignified. Al-Kaaba is now used only for the house built by Abraham with the help of his son Ishmael. Holy Quran says that this was the first house built for mankind, where Muslims go for the Hajj pilgrimage. Also seen Makkah. 60.
Kabis.
Kaaba sa. It is antonym of tayyab and means dirty, filthy, foul, unpleasant, or unclean. It may pertain to eatables, conversation, actions, thoughts, or belief. Kubsan means adulteration, impurity. Taj, Mohit. In verse 7. 58.
Kabosa has been used for a piece of land which is saline and nothing can be grown there, and even if something grows, it is poor, niggardly or negligible.
In 14. 24-26. A tree which does not bear any fruit is called kabisatan. Quran in verse 5. 100. Says that the lawful and the unlawful are not alike in value.
Even though the abundance of what is unlawful may appear attractive to you, it has no firmness as its roots are only in the surface of the earth.
14. 26. Quran declares all tayyabat as halal and kabais as haram. 7. 157. Quran has used the word kabis for those people as well who indulge in obscenity or of bad character, etc. 24.
26.
61. Kalk. Ka-lam qaf. The basic meaning of kalkan is to measure something for the purpose of making or cutting something. To examine its ratio and proportion, to make something according to a similar thing, to smoothen and soften something. Taj. Lane. Kalik al-adima means he measured the leather before cutting in order to make some article.
Kalik means someone who is almost perfect, well
shaped, graceful and balanced in shape, physique and appearance. Kalkatan means smoothness, greasiness, and in level. Al-kalko means something smooth without a crack or crease. Taj.
Lane.
Kalaka, therefore, means to examine something and remove its disproportion to conform it to a specific design and measurement. As a result, it becomes perfectly proportionate, smooth and leveled. Kalaka's saubo means the cloth became old. Kalakin means a portion set or designed according to an assessment. Raghib says that the meaning of kalakin is also the superiority which one acquires on account of excellent behavior, courtesy or politeness. In the Holy Quran, kalkan has also been used in contrast with amrun. 7. 54. Here it means to assess correctly, then plan with absolute determination.
It also means to give training.
Gharibul Quran by Mirza Abul Fazl. Kalak or Khalik are the two attributes of Allah. 36. 81, 59. 28. Therefore, a nation which undertakes to manifest these attributes in society will have to display creativity and innovation. To give birth to a child is not creation but procreation. This is a biological action where man and animal are at equal footing. In order to create something, a human being has to imbibe the above attributes. Human being or a nation which has no creative or innovative qualities has not yet attained this attribute of Allah. Moreover, creation does not mean duplication of something again and again. It means that every time some addition or alteration is needed. That is why in one verse Allah says, He, according to His own will, keeps on adding something to His creations. 35. 1. Therefore, one of the qualities of His followers is that they keep on creating, inventing new things. As mentioned afore, Khalq also means balance, excellent ratio and proportion, and this shows absolute dignity. The Quran says about Rasul Allah,
peace be upon him. 68.
4. And verily you are at the highest level of human ethics. 62. Kufa, Kafir, Kafirin. Kaf fa ra. Dot. Kufa means to conceal, to hide, to cover. Aramani has mentioned Akfa, Satara, and Ajana as synonyms of kafara. Ibn Faris also agrees that its basic meanings are to cover or conceal. Therefore, a person whose body is fully covered with weapons is called kafir. Night is also called kafir as its darkness covers everything. Dark clouds are called kafir. A river or sea is called kafir as it covers everything lying in its bed. A farmer is called kafir as he hides the seed under the soil. Taj. A grave is called al-kafro as it hides the dead body. In the same way, kafir is a person who conceals the fundamental and absolute values of life given to man by Allah.
A person who hides his own or other people's potentialities and does not permit him to develop is also known as kafir.
Keeping in view this meaning of hiding or covering, it was also used in the meaning of denial, refusal or rejection. Therefore, it was also used in contrast to the concept of iman, i.e., one who denies the absolute truth as given in the Quran. 2.
4-2.
6.
Kafir is used as an opposite of momen.
Kufa is also used as antonym of shukr, as shukr means something which gets prominent. 14.
7.
From here the word kufran namat is derived, which means to hide bounties of nature or to refuse to offer them for the good of mankind. Kafara is therefore an act which covers the misdeeds or the ill effects of some wrongdoing. Kafara has three origins. Kufranun, kafran, kofaran. Kufranun is normally used as rejection of bounties of nature. Kufa is used as a denial, refusal, or rejection in respect of affairs of deen, and kofar is used for both the concepts. In the Quran the plural of kafir is given as kafar, kafirn or kafaratan. Kafor is the scented medicine which reduces the intensity of heat. Kaforan is used in stronger terms of kufa, ragheap. It therefore transpires that iman and kufa are not merely matters of faith, but cover the practical aspects of life. To accept the Quranic laws as truthful and then live accordingly is iman, and to reject them is kufa. According to the Quran, the term kafir is not an abuse, but is a statement of fact.
For example, if a party is formed, everyone who joins it is called a member, and those who do not join are called non-members.
Accordingly, those who accept Islam are called Muslims and those who do not non-Muslims.
Every non-Muslim is not a kafir in the real sense of the term.
Kafir is a person to whom teachings of the Quran are conveyed and explained, and after listening to them he rejects.
47.
32.
There might be those who have not been guided to the truth.
Then there are various categories of kafirin, e.g., those who not only refuse to accept but also hinder others from accepting it, sometimes by force. There are a number of reasons as to why a person, even after listening to this message, refuses to accept. Some do it on account of stubbornness, obstinacy, jealousy or grudge. 2. 90. Generally people do it because they feel haughty, rebellious, or have inflated egos. 35. 42-27.
14.
Some people do not accept because of false prestige. And once they say no, they would stick to it come what may. 7. 101. And when one goes on repeating the denial, he gets hardened in this attitude. Once they get into this category, then their false prestige forces them to stop others, because they do not want to be left alone. 47.
32.
For this they devise the strategy of advising other people not to listen to the Quran, and distracting them when Quran was being recited by making noise. 41. 26. The people listed above are the people who will not have faith and be convinced even if one makes them aware of the dire consequences. This is because they have lost the capability of understanding. 7. 179. There are two concepts of life. One is that the life is only physical. One is born, brought up, procreates, and after some time dies, and there remains nothing of him. The other concept is that life is not the physical existence alone but enjoins the soul too, whose development is the real object of human life. This development of the personality enables a person to continue living even after his physical death. The definition of kufr, however, is not confined to the concealment of truth alone. It also includes withholding of subsistence, which Allah has created for the good of all mankind and which He wants to be freely available to all.